Yes, I went too hard at the seed fair, but at the same time, I'm okay with that. I'm not harming anything, but, well, not harming anything. So the seed fair in my community is usually a bunch of tables spread with seeds. They're organized by seed type, so there's like tomato table, pepper table, greens table, roots table. Usually there are like full packets, or there's saved seeds from the community. So it's 10 a.m. now, and that's pretty early for me, but somewhat late for the seed fair. It started at 8. Mostly I want to get in and get out, honestly. It's a pretty small building, pretty big turnout usually. For me, it's kind of a grind, but I'm bringing you along this time. Don't expect a lot as far as production, but we'll see. So I'm excited to get going, nervous to get going. I need to go. What I'm bringing is just the bare essentials. So I do bring ear protection in case it's too stimulating. I bring tape to label my baggies, 2 Sharpies because 1 Sharpie is bound to stop working. The dog is dogging again. Extra baggies to share. I'm definitely gonna bring a wallet because there are the vendors and the booths. And I bring a giant tote just to throw everything in. It's just a catch-all. And this is so cute. I love to just show it off. And for anything that I would gather, sometimes they give away like nice seed starting pots or plants. I'll probably get some various things. Luckily, it is not too far from my house, so I don't have to drive because the parking situation can be kind of a walk anyway. Shout out to my mom for saving all these little baggies for me. I think this gets me going. So if you're interested, let's get going. Full disclosure, this is my first time filming in public, so I tried to keep it pretty low-key. Frankly, I don't want to post images of anybody on my channel without full consent, so filming in a large crowd is already something I'm not completely comfortable with. Please forgive the sloppy camera work. I've done my best to obscure individuals in this footage, but I did receive consent to record some of the volunteers that were working the event. This handmade sign has graced the entrance of the seed fair for years. Seeing it today absolutely got me excited for what's to come. Inside the seed fair, you can see it draws quite a crowd. So many cute details and handmade art decorating the space. Seeds are laid out on tables organized by plant type, so it's easy to find what you're looking for if you're on a mission, but comfortable enough to casually browse. The wider variety of seeds come from thoughtful donors that have decided to share their self-saved seeds from their own harvests. Friendly reminder to take only what you will actually use. The main event for me is a booth that distributes locally collected native seeds. This year, their selection was better than ever, and judging by the line to their table, they're a popular destination for many others. I used my time in the queue to prepare my baggies for seed collection. I also clocked this pile of bamboo sitting outside the front door and made a mental note to take that on my way out. There is a demonstration underway in which a master gardener shared techniques for cleaning and caring for garden tools. I loved watching the volunteers sort their hand-collected seeds to keep the jars topped off during the fair. Every person working this table was so kind, informative, and fun. Many thanks to the Native Lands Restoration Collaborative for their hard work and generous offering of an incredible variety of native plant seeds. Successful seed fair. Put these somewhere. So I just got back. Loads of goodies. The bamboo was a surprise find. That's really awesome. It was just sitting out at the exit as I was leaving. Can't wait to make something out of those. Trellis or some sort of plant structure. Awesome bonus. So many freebies. That was just one of many. Rest is in here, so let's see what I got. She's getting bossy. Back home. So, rundown of the event. Lots of people. I don't want to say less seeds than normal, but As far as the garden plants go, much less by a long shot. And that was fine because the big event for me going to the seed fair is collecting seeds for natives. Oh, I've got a lot to unbox here. So, successful mission, absolutely. And maybe underwhelming in one way, but overwhelming and awesome in others. So let's get right into the fun stuff. I'll talk as I go because there's a lot to unpack here. So I came prepared with the baggies, with just little plastic baggies ready to go, and 2 Sharpies. So I was able to label everything I took home, which is nice. That's maybe the first year that's ever happened, that everything is in its own bag with the correct label. And everything was just tossed in here as I did it. I tried to do some pockets and that got out of hand. So starting with things that aren't seeds, what I came home with, the bamboo that was just sitting at the entrance, and so I grabbed those when I left. So I also got, this was completely free. A vendor typically gives away free plants every year. I got cosmos this year. I'm gonna try to separate these out, I think, because that's a lot for one. I've got a geranium that I got years ago that I've kept going for a long time. Fresh greenery is a very nice perk of the seed fair, especially now because there's snow on the ground. I also purchased BT from the hardware store's booth they had set up. If you watch any of my videos, you're familiar with the fact that I cannot grow squash. Squash vine borers and squash bugs just decimate my plants every year, same time. I tried lots of strategies, and I've known about BT for like 5 years and never bought it. So having it in my hand drove me to finally give it a shot. For research purposes, I want to figure this out. I'm assuming I can use this safely in ways that I'm not just massively harming the pollinator population in my yard. So purchased that. Also purchased some handmade soap from a local farm. It smells amazing. Not gonna plug it, but just fun craft fair kind of stuff. So I had used tape to label all my seeds. There's stickers, of course, from the library. The library also had a little demo of their seed library. If this is something you've heard of before, awesome. I'm kind of late to the game on this, but seed libraries, if offered in your area, just at the public library. I got several varieties of greens. This is, I got lacinato kale, I got tatsoi, and watercress, which is new. I've never grown that before, so I know it's super healthy. I'm excited to have some seeds. And these are nice seed packets. Like, these are just ready to go. They had stacks of them. Everything else was kind of a free-for-all, bag it and tag it kind of setup, and it was tight. Everyone was mostly friendly, and it was fun. I did put my headphones in because it was getting a little overwhelming. Oh, and I did purchase holy basil. So these are from a local place selling these. These ones were actually, I talked to the people who provide to this seed company, so they definitely came from the area. This holy basil, I imagine, is just from anywhere. Seed produced in the USA, so probably not in my town. But let's do a seed dump. So everything I collected, I was glad I brought a lot of bags, and I was able to give away some too to people who were not as prepared for the nature of this setup. I say, oh, there wasn't a lot of seeds, but there definitely were a lot of seeds. I should specify that there weren't a lot of Baker Creek seeds. In the past, there were lots, so I was surprised to see maybe like one packet. Hi, doggy. 2 years ago, there were just, every table was covered with 50 Baker Creek packets, and people were just like grabbing them and pocketing them, which is kind of I don't know, if you're that way, okay. And even when I felt like I was being greedy and getting too many, a lot of the seeds that I did get, which are natives, and I will be just planting directly in the ground, the booth attendants specified get a lot because the germination rate for outdoor sown seeds is already going to be super low. They said something like 10%. So I do intend to plant everything, but every seed might not actually become a plant. What? You want a ball? Here, get your ball. So these aren't organized, but most of the edibles that I got are quick to grab because there's really not a lot. Sorry if this plastic offends you. People were using paper envelopes, and I in the past have used that too, but they come open really easy. These were easy to open and close and completely seal, and I do reuse them. Oh yeah, so my label method here, everything directly written on the bag was because I was at the native seed booth, and that was so full of stuff and the line was extremely long. I was just trying to move as fast as possible, so I wrote directly on the packages for those. So this will differentiate everything I got from the Native Lands seed booth. So these were all harvested and collected by Native Lands. They had so many to choose from, and the people were just extremely nice, knowledgeable, helpful, and I feel really lucky to have been able to just walk up and collect all of these from my area that I can put straight into the yard. Oh, this one's from that too. They had a donation bin, so technically these were not completely free, but optionally free. I got so many that it felt wrong not to throw some in, because I mean, these seed packets, they said the same exact seeds. This was $5, so I absolutely want to put some back into the organization. They mentioned they had just bought a colored printer this year so they could label all of the jars with pictures. It was really organized. For as chaotic as it was as quick moving as you can expect for a line of a bunch of people putting little seeds into tiny baggies and labeling everything. So the line was fun. I didn't mind it. It was next to the information, or next to the demonstration table. So I watched a demo with basically zero audio of a master gardener demonstrating how to clean and care for tools, which is a good idea. I couldn't hear anything. He didn't have a PA of any sort. Very loud in the open building full of 200 people, but still, people in front of me discussing mammograms, just being part of the society, part of the seed culture. It was great. I really enjoyed it. I do kind of psych myself out when I'm getting ready to go, thinking like, how am I going to be in there? But it was very comfortable and fine. So, quick and dirty rundown of all the native seeds I got. So, if I imagine that each one of these $5, I have so many seeds here, and I'm going to do my absolute best, because so much work has gone into collecting and sorting and redistributing these seeds. I want to make the most of it. I probably am going to split these with my friend, though. Typically, that's kind of what. You're such a good girl. I share some of my harvest with. You're so cute. I share part of my. I don't really want you on me, though. What a good girl. So a lot of work goes into getting these into my hands from people that are not me. So I want to make the most of them. It's a shocking variety. I wasn't prepared, and I didn't even get, maybe close to half of what they had available. There's some things that I already have, and some things that I don't necessarily need or have room for, but So just running off what I got. Some of the mixes I got 3 mixes. I got a prairie mix, a woodland seed blend. So I would consider it woodland area of my yard that is just ground cover right now, and it's pretty shady, occasional light. I think it would maybe do well there. It did have a disclosure on the woodland blend that some of the seeds take up to 3 years to germinate, which is a lot, especially if I have to fight the current ground cover that is pervasive all over that entire area. So I'm gonna have to do some prep before I can use this one, but I was interested to try it. In my backyard might be a better option too. So I got somewhat organized. Some grasses. I got big blue stem, a switchgrass, blue GRAMA grass, eastern GAMA grass, golden feather grass. This is also, I put milkweed in this one too. This is a rose swamp milkweed, because that's easy to differentiate the weeds. The seeds, I could save a bag that way. Shorts sedge. This one looked really cute. It had an interesting seed head. Woolly verbena, showy goldenrod. This is slender mountain mint, and I need to rewrite it because I'll forget what I just wrote SMM. I've heard good things about this, and I know don't plant mint, but whatever, I plant mint. Scaly blazing star, compass plant, rattlesnake master, SENNA. This is, they said it'd be better in a wet area, so I'm gonna put this where my sump pump runoffs collect. Wild blue indigo, wild white indigo, round-headed bush clover. And if I'm feeling really bold, I'll include pictures of those. I'm excited to plant them. All right, my light died. Took a quick break. Sorry. Straight back into all of the edible plants that I picked up. So, edibles and also just like ornamental. So non-native plants. There's some flowers in here for sure, but what I was able to grab, some of these were from packaging that was just donated, and some of these were from saved seeds. Like, cute. People put a lot of effort into their seed packets, and you don't get a lot of information, but if you're not very particular, it is awesome. Because I know when you save seeds that you've already grown in a certain environment, like maybe the goal is that they are acclimated to the environment that I will currently be growing in. So getting seeds with a history that is relevant to your setting is, to me, a perk for sure. Even if it's not commercially produced, that to me is a bonus too. And look, like this, they use zero adhesive. It's bundled so well. It's like an origami envelope. Actually, really, I just want to show it. Just a great little packet. That is so cool. Wow, that is impressive, honestly. You're just as curious as I am. Wow. Very cool. How do they do it? They did it like this. And tuck. So neat. So not only did I get seeds, I got an awesome technique for seed packaging. So I grabbed the okra, blue Hubbard squash. These I like to, well, in the past have used as a trap crop for squash vine borers. The intention is to plant these in like a pot somewhere, bait in the pests, and then terminate the plant while it is still inhabited. And ideally that means the plants that you actually want to harvest from will be spared. I definitely it definitely attracted them, but every squash plant I ever plant attracts them. So it's hard to say. There was a study that I saw Blue Hubbard compared to other squash varieties, like performed well as a lure for the squash vine borers. And I kind of use squash vine borers and squash bugs interchangeably in ways that is not accurate, but it's because they are a joint menace to me. When I have one, I will have the other also, and they just, so like BT will not work for squash bugs, as far as I know. I'll correct this if I'm wrong. But for squash vine borers, that is what I have heard to use. So I got Lunaria. Honesty is what it's called. It was a really cool looking plant. This had a picture on it, so I grabbed it. It's just a ornamental cosmos, ornamental blue flax. This didn't have a picture. This was someone had saved, but the little seed pods are kind of look like coriander, but they divide up into like little wedges, little sections. So I know this is pretty. And I don't know if it's the same as like edible flax. I'll look into it. I've been trying to source this for a while because when I do see it, I think it's just really, really good looking. Bachelor button, edible flower. I don't eat a lot of flowers, but I like growing ones that are. I got petite basil. A red rose, pink tomato. These were self-saved seeds, and last year, the ones that were like hand collected, I had really low germination rates on. So I'm going to start a few of these and see, but I think out of like 10 individually sown cells, I got one plant. So I'm going to try. Maybe these ones will work better, but last year, and they could have been old seeds. Like none of these have dates. Some of them have dates, but most of them don't. So I wanted to get some just in case. There was like maybe 5 tomato varieties. It's maybe because I went too late, but it was shocking. I got one pepper variety. I got a little yellow pepper that someone had saved. So I'll try it. And another tatsoi someone had saved. This is Freesia. Just a cool seed pod. Sorry, in my bag there is animal hair. And I mean, that's just interesting. There were piles of these, so I had to grab one because it's cool looking. I'll figure out how to actually plant it, but it was a cute flower. And I got Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth, which was in the flower section, but also edible if I'm right about that. It's just amaranth seeds. But I love these plants. I think they're so cool. I think the name is awesome. It's like that Elton John song. And it's kind of goth, kind of metal sounding. I really like it. I'm excited to plant some more of these. I've grown them in the past and had decent results, but I have more space now that I can, because these can get kind of big. I have more room for a drapey plant. But that's all for the seeds that I've collected. I also got some information just on cool things in my community. The extension office located where the seed fair is held every year. So I got some information on that. I know I want to do a soil test this year, and the extension office does that. So that'll be fun. Just a great resource to have. It's like $7 or something. And since I have raised beds and in-ground planting areas, I might do 2. I'd kind of considered like how would I approach that. And then I got information about their native plants sale. The master gardeners have these, which is really cool, bundles of plants you can get that are selective for like just a combo of different plants to suit certain conditions. Bone dry, blooms for all seasons, beginner's luck, hungry caterpillar. Really cool. I've never been to the native plant sale because every year I'm optimistically like, well, I'll just grow my own. And I'm starting to discover that as fun as it is to spread these out and hope for the best, I'm not going to have any shame in just buying an established plant, especially plants like these natives that take years to get established. Like, if I'm here in 2 years, I would love for all of these plants to be here, but also just to have some immediately put in the ground, start enjoying plants. I bought Rattlesnake Master for the first time last year, and I'm hoping it comes back this year. So might hop on the native plant sale train, get some good things going until these establish themselves. I also talked to the master gardeners about myself becoming a master gardener, and it's something that I've kind of like toyed with before and didn't think I had enough time for, but after discussing it with the ladies at the booth, it's 30 hours a year of volunteering and basically 0 experience required. So if I were to pursue this, it seems like I, in theory, could, and that's really cool to me. I mean, I don't know, like maybe not so much for a title, but for entering a social space with like-minded people, and the opportunity to learn. It's the volunteering itself that is just great education. They said any like area that you're particularly interested in, you could pursue. It sounds interesting, and I'm glad to have it just validated by another person to say, yeah, you could. It gets the gears turning. Really cool. I want to get more into volunteering this year. I think being a solo internet gardener can be sort of lonely. I don't exactly have a lot of gardening friends. I have plenty of plant friends, but at the scale that I'm doing and at the level of long-term involvement, I know I need some elders. I need some experts, and that's a great place to start. I'm kind of socially nervous, but probably be good for me and definitely good for my community. So that's something to think about. Like I went away from the seed fair feeling inspired and excited for the year ahead. It's great to just have like things, but also the seed fair represents a lot of potential. So great to go just for that. Great to be part of a mass of people that all are interested in the things that I am interested in. It can feel kind of isolated for me sometimes. So to just see 30 people in line for native seeds like me, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not alone in this. It's awesome. A lot of excitement moving forward. It's still early, but cold stratifying time. Once this snow melts, I think I'm gonna start setting aside spots, getting real plant labels, and just seeing how it goes. Exciting, ready to move forward. These, oh, did I even say I also got these bush beans from 2021. This Charente melon. This was a Baker Creek one of the only Baker Creek packets that I saw. It's a French melon. And then I got some loofah, and I've tried loofah before, but it didn't germinate. I wonder if it would have the same issues with the squash vine borers as I'm used to. And I know this is edible, but I'm interested in obviously harvesting the loofah dried product for sponges. Bunch of bush beans. 2021, I grabbed a bunch of these to test their germination rates. I'm just curious. These are pretty old seeds, so push the limits on storage, see what's possible. Just a fun experiment. And I'm always happy to have bush bean plants just to pop in spaces. So, pretty big haul. If you made it this far, hope you enjoyed the unboxing. And I'm not gonna say it's anti-consumer, but it is a very okay feeling sense of consumerism, like a very connected sense of consumerism. Like, yes, I went too hard at the seed fair, but at the same time, this is one of those areas where it's like, I'm okay with that. I'm not harming anything, but well, not harming anything. Very happy with it. Awesome. Looking forward to next year already. If you've never been to a seed fair, I highly recommend you search in your area for opportunity to have this experience that I did. This is really convenient for me, so to miss it would actually upset me. I think it's just such a cool experience. I'm so happy for it, and I want to support the community in this way and obviously benefit quite a bit from it. So if you don't have a seed fair, look into seed libraries. Look into your public library for anything, like the Master Gardeners say they do events at the library. You're such a good girl. There's a lot of gardening information available, just books. But seeds itself, if you want to start a free garden, public services such as your local library are just the most valuable resource you can have. Getting to those resources may not be as easy as walking into a big box store and buying the seeds for the year. But there's a lot of advantages. It might not be easier, but in so many ways it is more fulfilling and enriching and just an amazing opportunity for budding or experienced gardeners to connect. So, hope you can find one. If you've already been to one, let me know how it goes. I'm curious. I'm curious what other people's seed fairs are like. So I'm excited to get a jump on the season. I have so much to do, ready to get started. I'm so glad I could share this experience with you. Hope you can find a seed fair in your area, or a seed library, or a Master Gardeners program, or a sweet neighbor that has some seeds to share. But most importantly, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm only going to take a few of each of what I'm interested in. I'm sorry if that's, she gotta do dog things.